The electrons don't orbit the nucleus in this uniformed way like this. They actually do so more like this. So what is an atom made of and what's its function? Well, in the following example, I'm going to use this copper atom. In its centre nucleus, there's 29 positively charged protons. And in there amongst them are 35 neutrons, called neutrons because they are neutral in charge, meaning they're neither positive nor negative. So basically, this 29 positive particles and 35 neutral particles makes up the centre nucleus of the copper atom. But remember, at the moment, we've only got positive charge here, because the neutrons aren't negative charge, they're no charge. And so what does it do? Well, it attracts the equal proportion of its opposites, so it attracts 29 negatively charged electrons. This now means that the atom has equalled out its own charge, so it's neither too negative nor too positive. This is known as a stable atom, and that's because it's got all the particles it needs. It doesn't need to attract anything, it's wholesome. And so all of these 29 electrons are constantly orbiting round and round the nucleus, and they never stop. And if you notice, all 29 electrons there are existing at different levels. And in fact, like all atoms, each level has a specific number of electrons. And so with copper atoms, there are always 2 electrons at this lower state closest to the nucleus. And at this level, the electrons are said to be at their ground state, so at their lowest level of energy. And that's because these are the 2 most drawn in to that positive pull of the nucleus. Being at this level, it means that the pull towards the nucleus is at its strongest. And this force means that there's a certain amount of drag for the electrons, so they can't quite move as quickly and as erratically as the other electrons. And as we go outwards to the other levels, each level has less of a drag, less of a force pulling it into the nucleus, and the more freedom to move quicker and more erratic the electrons have. So that means that these 8 electrons have more freedom to move, and these 18 electrons have even more freedom to move. All of which while still being caught up in the electrical pull of the nucleus. So they're all in the nucleus's orbit, just moving at different paces. And that brings me on to the highest level, because it's this level that occupies just 1 electron, which is the reason the copper wire can produce an electrical current. And that's because this one outer electron, having the least amount of attraction to the nucleus, and therefore the least amount of drag, can behave in a way that's more erratic than all of the other electrons. It's important to say now that the atoms don't orbit the nucleus in this uniformed way like this. They actually do so more like this, like a swarm of bees buzzing around, so it makes more of a cloud as they move somewhere near the speed of light. Each level is doing the same, and the further up we go, the more erratically they're doing it. Until we get up to the 1 electron at the highest level, which is moving the most freely.